Alina Vasquez stared at the eviction notice taped to her apartment door. Her architectural portfolio clutched against her chest like a shield. 3 months behind on rent, creditors calling daily, and her father's medical bills mounting higher. Each week, she had exactly $47 in her account and a dream that seemed increasingly impossible to achieve. The message on her phone made her pause mid-step. Julian Cross wanted to meet with her.
I, the Julian Cross.
The youngest billionaire in human history, the man who had revolutionized quantum computing before his 30th birthday. Alina had submitted her designs to his company 6 months ago for an entry-level position and received the standard rejection letter. Why would he want to see her now, standing outside the gleaming Cross Technologies tower in downtown New Angeles? Alina smoothed her only professional dress and took a deep breath. The building stretched impossibly high into the sky, its bioluminescent panels shifting colors and patterns that reminded her of living tissue. Since first contact with the Celestial Alliance 3 years ago, human architecture had begun incorporating alien design principles, creating structures that seemed to breathe and pulse with life. The elevator ride to the 97th floor felt eternal. When the doors opened, Alina found herself facing floor-to-ceiling windows that offered a breathtaking view of the city below. Hovercars moved in organized streams between buildings, while massive holographic advertisements floated in the air, advertising everything from Earth cuisine to off-world vacation packages. Miss Vasquez. The voice belonged to a man in his early 30s, tall and lean with dark hair and intense green eyes. Julian Cross wore a simple black sweater and dark jeans, looking more like a graduate student than one of the most powerful men on Earth. Thank you for coming on such short notice. Lena shook his offered hand, trying to ignore the warmth that shot up her arm at the contact. Mr. Cross, I have to admit I'm curious why you wanted to see me. Julian smiled, and Alina noticed how it transformed his entire face, making him seem younger and more approachable. Please, call me Julian. And the reason I asked you here is quite simple. I need your help with the most important project in human history. Before Alina could respond, a shimmer in the air near the windows caught her attention. The space began to ripple like water, and slowly, a figure materialized. Alina gasped and took an involuntary step backward. The being that appeared was unmistakably alien, yet hauntingly beautiful. She stood nearly 7 feet tall, with pale blue skin that seemed to glow from within. Her hair was a cascade of silver that moved as if suspended in water, and her eyes were large and violet, holding an intelligence that felt ancient. She wore a form-fitting suit that appeared to be made of liquid metal, constantly shifting and flowing across her body. Alina Vasquez, the alien, spoke, her voice like wind chimes in a gentle breeze. I am Zara of the Celestial Alliance. We have been watching your work with great interest. Lena's mouth fell open. She had seen aliens on news broadcasts, of course, but never in person. The being's presence filled the room with an otherworldly energy that made her skin tingle. Zara's an architectural engineer from the planet Nexus, Julian explained, moving to stand beside the alien. Her people have been building structures across the galaxy for millennia. They've approached us with a proposition that could change everything for humanity. Zara nodded gracefully. My people wish to construct a gateway on your moon, a portal that will allow your species to travel instantly to other worlds in our alliance. However, the structure must be built using both human and celestial technology, requiring architects who understand both species' design principles. Alina felt dizzy. I'm just a junior architect. Design apartment buildings and shopping centers. I've never even been to space. That's exactly why we need you, Julian said, his eyes intense. Your designs have something most architects lack. They understand that buildings should serve people, not just impress them. You create spaces that feel like home. Zara stepped closer, and Alina caught a scent like ozone and starlight. The gateway is not merely a transportation device. It will be humanity's first embassy to the galaxy, a place where your people will live and work alongside dozens of alien species. It must feel welcoming to all, yet still maintain your human essence. The Alliance has set conditions, Julian continued. The lead architects must be a bonded pair to beings whose minds and hearts are connected. It's how their species approaches all major construction projects. They believe that buildings created by those who truly understand each other have a harmony that can't be achieved otherwise. Elena's confusion deepened. Bonded pair? Like married? Exactly, Zara said, tilting her head in a gesture that seemed both alien and strangely familiar. Among my people, bonding is deeper than your human marriage. It's a connection of souls, minds joined in perfect understanding and trust. Julian cleared his throat, and Alina noticed a slight flush creeping up his neck. The thing is, Alina, I need a partner for this project, someone the Alliance will accept as my bonded mate. And given the timeline, we would need to enter into a formal partnership immediately. Alina stared at him. Are you asking me to fake marry you for an alien construction project? It's not marriage, Julian said quickly. It's a professional partnership with certain personal elements. You would receive $50 million upon completion of the project, plus full ownership of any patents or technologies we develop together. $50 million. Lena's father could get the treatment he needed. She could pay off all their debts and never worry about money again. But the idea of pretending to be bonded to Julian Cross, of living in close proximity to this man who already made her pulse race after 5 minutes of conversation, seemed incredibly dangerous. What would this partnership entail exactly? Lena asked. Zara answered. You would need to live together, work together, make decisions as one unit. The Alliance would monitor your connection through psychic scans to ensure the bond is genuine. Deception is impossible to hide from our telepathic abilities. Elena's heart sank. Then this won't work. She just said deception is impossible. Not deception, Julian said softly. Real partnership, real trust, real connection between two people working toward a common goal. He moved closer, and Elena caught his scent, something clean and masculine with hints of coffee and machinery. Elena, I've studied your work for months. Your apartment building in Sector 7, the way you incorporated natural light and green spaces even with the limited budget. The community center you designed that brings people together instead of just housing them. You understand what I'm trying to build here, which is what exactly, Elena asked. A future where humanity doesn't just survive in the galaxy, but thrives. Where we're not just the newest species stumbling around trying to fit in, but true partners in something magnificent. Julian's eyes lit up with passion. This gateway isn't just about transportation. It's about showing the universe that humans have something valuable to contribute. Elena looked between Julian and Zara, her mind racing. The offer was incredible, terrifying, and completely insane. But as she thought about her father lying in a hospital bed they couldn't afford, about her dreams of creating something meaningful, about the possibility of being part of humanity's greatest adventure, she felt something shift inside her. If I agree to this, Elena said slowly, what guarantee do I have that you won't try to control every aspect of the project? I've heard stories about powerful men who hire women as partners, but treat them as assistants. Julian's expression grew. Serious, full creative control, shared equally. Every decision made together. Your name on everything alongside mine? He paused, then added quietly. Elena, I'm not asking you to be my assistant. I'm asking you to be my equal. Zara watched this exchange with obvious fascination. Among my people, such partnerships are sacred. If you choose to bond, even temporarily, you will be connected in ways that will change you both forever. Elena felt a shiver run down her spine. Connected how? When two minds work in perfect harmony, they begin to anticipate each other's thoughts, share emotions, dream similar dreams. It's why our buildings are so beautiful. They're created by beings who truly understand each other. Looking at Julian, Elena realized she was standing at a crossroads. Behind her lay safety, poverty, and the slow death of her dreams. Ahead lay the unknown, adventure, and the most attractive man she'd ever met. A man she would have to pretend to be bonded with while working on the most important project in human history. 1 year, Elena said finally. 1 year of partnership. $50 million upon completion, and full creative control. Julian smiled, and this time it reached his eyes. 1 year, there is one more thing, Zara interjected. The alliance requires that bonded pairs undergo a ceremony to seal their connection. It involves sharing memories, emotions, and establishing a psychic link that will last throughout the project. Alina's breath caught. A psychic link? Like mind reading? It's more like emotional resonance, Zara explained. You will feel what the other feels, sense their moods, their fears, their joys. It makes deception impossible, but also creates a connection. Deeper than most beings experience in a lifetime. Lena looked at Julian, who seemed just as surprised by this revelation as she was. You didn't know about this part, did you? No, Julian admitted. But it doesn't change anything. We're both professionals. We can handle whatever this process involves. As Elena stared into his green eyes, she wondered if either of them truly understood what they were agreeing to. The attraction she felt toward him was already dangerous enough without. Adding a psychic connection to the mix, but $50 million. Her father's life. The chance to build something that would last forever among the stars. When do we start? Elena asked. Zara's violet eyes seemed to sparkle with approval. The ceremony can be performed tonight. Tomorrow, you begin your new life together. As Elena shook hands with Julian again, she felt that same electric current, stronger this time. Tomorrow, she would wake up bonded to a man she barely knew, about to embark on the greatest adventure in human history. She just hoped her heart would survive the experience. The celestial bonding ceremony took place in a chamber aboard Zara's ship, which hovered silently above New Angeles like a crystalline dream. Elena stood nervously beside Julian, both of them wearing simple white robes that Zara had provided. The chamber itself seemed alive, its walls pulsing with soft bioluminescent patterns that responded to their heartbeats. The process is painless, Zara assured them, her silver hair floating around her shoulders as if she were underwater. You will simply need to place your hands on the bonding crystal and open your minds to each other. Elena glanced at Julian, who looked as uncertain as she felt. They had spent the last few hours reviewing project plans and trying to ignore the magnitude of what they were about to do. Now, standing before an alien artifact that would literally connect their minds, the reality of their situation hit her. Full force. What exactly will we experience? Julian asked, his voice steadier than Elena felt. You will see glimpses of each other's memories, feel echoes of past emotions, and establish a permanent empathic link, Zara explained. The bond will strengthen over time as you work together. Eventually, you may find yourselves thinking in harmony, anticipating each other's needs and desires. Elena's pulse quickened at the word desires. She had been trying all day not to think about how attracted she was to Julian, how his presence made her skin tingle and her breath catch. The idea of him potentially sensing those feelings made her want to run from the room. The bonding crystal was beautiful. A multifaceted gem the size of a basketball that hovered between two pedestals. It glowed with an inner light that shifted from blue to purple to gold, creating patterns that seemed to call to something deep in Elena's soul. Are you ready? Zara asked. Elena looked at Julian one more time. His green eyes met hers, and she saw her own nervousness reflected there, along with something else: determination, trust, and underneath it all, an attraction that matched her own. Together, Julian asked, extending his hand toward the crystal. Elena nodded and placed her palm against the warm surface at the same moment Julian did. The effect was immediate and overwhelming. Images flooded her mind. Julian, as a lonely child, brilliant but isolated, burying himself in books and computers while other children played outside. His first breakthrough in quantum computing, the joy and pride quickly overshadowed by his father's demand that he commercialize it immediately. Long nights in empty offices, building an empire, while his heart remained locked away. Untouched by the dozens of women who sought him out for his wealth and status, and underneath it all, a deep longing for connection, for someone who would see him as more than just his achievements and bank account. Elena gasped as she felt Julian's presence in her mind, sensing her own memories flowing toward him. Her childhood, in a cramped apartment, sketching buildings on any scrap of paper she could find. Working multiple jobs to put herself through school while caring for her sick father. The crushing disappointment of rejection, after rejection. The slowly dying hope that she would ever create something meaningful, but also her dreams. Magnificent structures that brought people together, buildings that felt like warm embraces, spaces where humanity could flourish and grow. Beautiful, Julian's voice whispered in her mind, though his lips didn't move. Your dreams are beautiful. Elena felt tears on her cheeks as the connection deepened. She could sense Julian's emotions now, his wonder at her resilience, his admiration for her talent, and something else that made her breath catch. Desire, not just physical, though that was certainly present, but a deeper hunger for the connection. They were forming. The crystal's glow intensified, and suddenly, Elena could feel everything Julian was feeling. His nervousness about the project, his excitement about working with someone who truly understood his vision, and his growing attraction to her that he was trying desperately to control. This is supposed to be professional, Julian's mental voice was strained. I can't be feeling this way about you. Too late, Elena thought back, and she felt his surprise at her honesty. I've been attracted to you since the moment we met. The admission hung between them as the bonding process completed. When they finally removed their hands from the crystal, Elena felt oddly empty, as if part of her had been left behind. But she could still sense Julian's presence at the edge of her consciousness, a warm glow that told her he was there. It is done, Zara announced, her violet eyes bright with approval. You are now bonded. The connection will strengthen over the coming days and weeks. Use it well. 2 weeks later, Elena stood on the observation deck of Humanity's Hope, the massive space station that would serve as their base of operations while they built the gateway on Luna. Earth hung below them like a blue-green jewel, while the construction site on the moon's surface bustled with activity from both human and alien workers. The project had progressed at an incredible pace. Elena and Julian worked together with a harmony that amazed everyone around them, though they could anticipate each other's thoughts, finish each other's sentences, and solve problems with a unity that seemed almost supernatural. The foundation is complete. Keth, their alien engineering partner, reported during their daily briefing. Keth was from a different species than Zara, tall and insectoid, with 4 arms and compound eyes that could see across multiple spectrums. His voice came through a translation device that rendered his clicks and chirps into perfect English. Your design for the energy distribution network is inspired. The way you've combined our crystalline technology with human quantum mechanics should create a stable portal capable of spanning any distance. Lena felt a warm glow of pride, amplified by Julian's own satisfaction through their bond. Working with him had been a revelation. He challenged her ideas, pushed her to think bigger, while always respecting her expertise and creativity. More than once, she had caught herself forgetting that their partnership was supposed to be temporary. There's something else, Keth continued. His mandibles clicking with what Elena had learned was excitement. The Alliance Council wants to meet with you both. Your bonding has created quite a stir among the member species. Julian frowned. What kind of stir? Many of our species have lost the ability to form true bonds, Keth explained. We've become too advanced, too focused on logic and efficiency, but watching you two work together has reminded us of what we've lost. There's talk of sending other species to study your partnership. Elena and Julian exchanged glances. Lena could feel his discomfort with being specimens for alien study. She shared the feeling. We're just doing our job, Elena said diplomatically. Perhaps, Keth replied. But the energy signature of your bond is unlike anything the Alliance has seen in centuries. You've achieved in weeks what most bonded pairs take years to develop. After Keth left, Elena found herself alone with Julian in their shared workspace. The bond made privacy difficult, but they had both learned to create mental barriers when needed. Still, she could sense his thoughtfulness, his concern about the attention they were receiving. This is getting complicated, Julian said, running a hand through his hair as he studied the holographic displays showing their progress. More complicated than fake bonding with a stranger to build an alien gateway? Elena asked, trying to lighten the mood. Julian turned to look at her, and Elena felt her heart skip at the intensity in his green eyes. Elena, there's something we need to discuss. The seriousness in his tone made her nervous. Through the bond, she could sense his internal struggle, his careful control over emotions that wanted to break free. "What is it?" she asked. "This bond between us. It's not fake." "Anymore, is it?" Lena's breath caught. She had been trying to ignore the growing connection between them, the way she looked forward to seeing him each morning. It's the way his presence had become as necessary to her as breathing. "No," she whispered. Julian stepped closer, and Alina could feel his desire through the bond, matching and amplifying her own. "This wasn't supposed to happen. I know. We agreed this was just business." "I know that too." Alina. Her name on his lips was a plea, a question, a prayer. "I think I'm falling in love with you." The words hung in the air between them like a confession. Through the bond, Alina could feel the truth of his emotions, the depth of feeling he had been trying to suppress. "Julian," she began, but he held up a hand. "You don't have to say anything. I know this complicates everything. I know we agreed to keep this professional, but I needed you to know." Alina looked at this man who had become her partner in every sense of the word. Through the bond, she could feel his vulnerability, his fear of rejection, his hope that maybe, just maybe, she felt the same way. "You're not falling alone," she said softly. Julian's eyes widened. And through the bond, Alina felt his joy, his relief, his overwhelming love crashing over her like a wave. Before she could think, before she could remember all the reasons this was complicated, he was crossing the space between them. Their first kiss was electric, amplified by the psychic connection, until Alina couldn't tell where her feelings ended and his began. She could taste his desire, feel his love wrapping around her like sunlight, sense his amazement that she wanted him as much as he wanted her. When they broke apart, both breathing hard, Alina realized everything had changed. There was no going back to a professional partnership now. The bond had made them something more than colleagues, more than friends, more than fake lovers. "What do we do now?" Julian asked, his forehead resting against hers. "We build our gateway," Alina said, her hands still tangled in his hair. "We figure out the rest as we go." Through the observation window, Earth continued its slow rotation, while on Luna's surface. The skeleton of humanity's future grew taller each day, and aboard humanity's hope, to people who had started as strangers discovered that. Sometimes the most impossible dreams came true in the most unexpected ways. 3 months after their first kiss, Alina stood in the completed gateway chamber, watching as Zara made final adjustments to the portal controls. The structure they had built together was magnificent. A soaring cathedral of crystal and metal that seemed to sing with harmonic frequencies. Human engineering merged seamlessly with celestial technology, creating something that was greater than the sum of its parts. "The portal is stable," Zara announced, her violet eyes bright with satisfaction. "Energy readings are optimal across all spectrums. You have built something truly remarkable." Alina felt Julian's pride through their bond, warm and golden like sunlight. Their connection had grown stronger over the months, until sometimes she felt like they shared one mind and 2 bodies. Working together had become as natural as breathing, and their love had deepened beyond anything she had thought possible. "The first official delegation from the Alliance arrives tomorrow," Director Hayes announced as he entered the chamber. Hayes was the government liaison assigned to oversee the project. A stern man in his 50s who had initially been skeptical of using civilian architects for such an important undertaking. "Representatives from 12 different species will be coming through to establish the new embassy." Lena nodded, though she felt a flutter of nervousness through the bond from Julian. The past week had been stressful as they prepared for this moment. Success would mean humanity's full acceptance into the galactic community. Failure could set back human-alien relations by decades. "There's something else," Hayes continued, his expression troubled. "We've received intelligence that not all factions within the Alliance are happy about humanity's rapid integration. Some believe we're moving too fast, that humans aren't ready for full membership." "What kind of opposition are we talking about?" Julian asked, moving to stand beside Alina. Even that simple proximity sent a wave of comfort through their bond. "Hegemony," Zara said, her melodic voice taking on a harder edge. "They're an old alliance of species who believe in genetic and technological purity. They see humanity's creativity and adaptability as a threat to the established order. Alina felt a chill run down her spine. Are we in danger? Not directly, Hayes said. But they've been pushing for restrictions on human expansion, claiming our species is too unpredictable to be trusted with advanced technology. Through the bond, Alina sensed Julian's anger at the suggestion that humanity was somehow inferior. His protective instincts flared, directed both at their species and at her personally. They can say whatever they want, Julian said firmly. Gateway proves that humans can be trusted partners. Our design innovations have actually improved on existing alliance technology. Zara nodded agreement. Your work here has impressed many on the council. The way you've combined emotional resonance with structural engineering creates buildings that feel alive, welcoming. Most alliance structures are purely functional. You've reminded us that spaces should nurture the soul as well as serve the body. That evening, Alina and Julian stood together on the observation deck of their residential quarters, looking out at the Earth rising over Luna's horizon. Tomorrow would change everything. If the gateway worked perfectly, humanity would take its place among the stars. If something went wrong, it could mean the end of their dreams and possibly their relationship. Are you nervous? Alina asked, though she could already feel Julian's emotions through their bond. Terrified, Julian admitted, pulling her closer against his chest. Not about the technology. I know that will work. But about what comes after. Alina turned in his arms to face him. What do you mean? Julian was quiet for a moment, and through the bond, Alina could sense him struggling with something difficult. Alina, when this project ends, so does our contract. You'll get your $50 million and be free to go anywhere. Do anything you want. Alina's heart clenched. In all the excitement of building the gateway and falling in love, she had managed to forget that their partnership was supposed to be temporary. Julian, what are you saying? I'm saying that I know you never signed up to be permanently bonded to me. It's a connection between us. It's stronger than either of us expected. If you want to break it, Zara says the Alliance has procedures too. Safely severs psychic bonds. Alina stared at him in shock. Through their connection, she could feel his pain at even suggesting it. His love for her warring with his desire to give her the choice he felt she deserved. You want to break our bond? She whispered. God, no, Julian said fiercely. I want to keep you forever. I want to make this real. Not just a contract, but a genuine partnership for life. But I need to know you want it too, not just because you're psychically connected to me. Alina felt tears prick her eyes. Even now, even after everything they had shared, Julian was still that lonely boy who thought people only wanted him for what he could give them. Julian, she said softly, placing her hands on either side of his face. The bond didn't make me love you. Love made the bond stronger. She opened her mind to him completely, letting him feel everything she felt. Her love for his brilliant mind and kind heart, her amazement at his ability to dream big and make those dreams reality. Her desire to spend the rest of her life creating beautiful things beside him. I don't want the $50 million, Alina said, watching his eyes widen in surprise. I want to be your partner in everything. Business, love, life, if you'll have me. Julian's kiss was desperate, grateful, overflowing with love that crashed through their bond like a tsunami. When they broke apart, Alina could feel his joy singing. Through every fiber of her being. Is that a yes? She asked, laughing through her tears. That's a forever yes, Julian said against her lips. The next morning brought chaos. The first delegation through the gateway included representatives from species Alina had only seen in Alliance databases. There was Ambassador Thorne from the Crystalline Architects, whose body looked like living gemstone. Commander Vex of the shape-shifting Metamorphs, currently wearing a form that looked vaguely humanoid, but kept shifting colors. And most impressively, High Counselor Naya of the Celestials, Zara's own species leader. The gateway performs flawlessly, High Counselor Naya announced after the formal ceremonies concluded. Human ingenuity, combined with celestial wisdom, has created something unprecedented. Lena felt a warm glow of accomplishment, magnified by Julian's own pride through their bond. They had done it. Humanity was officially part of the galactic community, but their celebration was interrupted by an unexpected arrival. The gateway shimmered, and through it stepped a figure that made Zara's entire posture changed to one of alert tension. The newcomer was tall and pale, with sharp features and cold silver eyes. His clothing appeared to be made of some kind of living metal that moved across his body like liquid mercury. "Tribune Nexus of the Hegemony," Zara said formally, though Alina could hear the distaste in her voice. "You were not expected." "Hegemony has concerns about this rapid integration," Tribune Nexus said, his voice like ice crystals breaking. "These humans show dangerous levels of innovation. Their bonding methods are crude but effective. Their architectural philosophy threatens established norms." Alina felt Julian's anger spike through their connection, but he kept his voice level. "Our methods work. The gateway is proof of successful human-alien cooperation." Tribune Nexus turned his cold gaze on them, and Alina felt something probing at her mind, trying to examine their bond. Instinctively, she and Julian strengthened their mental barriers, protecting their connection from intrusion. "Fascinating," Tribune Nexus said. "Your bond is indeed strong. Perhaps too strong. The hegemony questions whether such intense connections lead to dangerous emotional decision-making." "Love isn't dangerous," Alina said firmly. "It's what makes us strong. Love." Tribune Nexus repeated the word like it tasted bitter. "An outdated biological imperative that clouds judgment and leads to irrational choices." High Counselor Naya stepped forward, her presence radiating authority. "Tribune Nexus, the hegemony's concerns have been noted. However, the Council has voted to welcome humanity into the Alliance. This matter is settled. For now," Tribune Nexus said. "But the hegemony will be watching. If these humans prove as unpredictable as we fear, steps will be taken." After the Tribune left through the gateway, Alina felt the tension in the chamber begin to ease. But through her bond with Julian, she could sense his worry about future challenges. "Don't let him get to you," Zara said quietly. "The hegemony represents old thinking. Most of the Alliance sees what you've accomplished here as the future of interspecies cooperation." That evening, as they stood together in the completed gateway chamber, Alina marveled at what they had built. The space hummed with life, welcoming and warm despite its advanced technology. Human creativity had indeed merged with alien wisdom to create something greater than either could achieve alone. "No regrets?" Julian asked, his arms wrapped around her from behind. Alina leaned back against his chest, feeling his love and contentment through their bond. "Only one." "What's that?" "That we can't get married in this beautiful space we built together," Alina said with a smile. Julian was quiet for a moment. Then Alina felt a flutter of excitement through their connection. "Who says we can't, Julian?" Alina Vasquez, Julian said, turning her around to face him. "We've built something incredible together. Not just this gateway, but what we have between us. Will you marry me? For real this time, not for any contract or alien ceremony, but because I love you and want to spend my life creating beautiful things with you." Alina's heart soared as she felt his love and hope through their bond. Around them, the gateway chamber seemed to pulse with warm light, as if the building itself approved of their love. "Yes," Alina said, laughing as tears of joy ran down her cheeks. "Yes, forever. Yes." They kissed beneath the soaring arches they had designed together. The gateway hummed with harmonious energy. Through the portal, stars beckoned with infinite possibilities. Humanity had found its place among them, and two hearts had found their home in each other. Their love story had begun with an impossible proposition and a fake partnership. But like the gateway they had built together, it had become something real and lasting. A bridge between worlds and a testament to the power of connection across any distance in the years that followed. Alina and Julian would design stations in cities across the galaxy, each one a celebration of human creativity and alien wisdom combined. But their greatest creation would always be their first, a love that proved the universe was vast enough for any dream, and that sometimes the most impossible propositions led to the most beautiful realities.